All right, so in chapter 10, there's really four main types of problems that you got to be able to do. So I'm going to go through one of them, and this is where you have to be able to run an inference test for a difference in means. So here we got popcorn. So we want to see if this data is going to be convincing enough to show that the name brand popcorn does indeed result in a greater mean percentage of popped kernels than the store brand popcorn. Interesting. So Brianna and Maggie really want to figure this out, so let's help them out. They got 10 bags of each type, popped them for 3.5 minutes. That's a long time, actually. And here's their data. So I have to start off by stating what our null hypothesis is going to be and what our alternative is going to be. So what our ho and ha is going to be, and the alpha level. So the ho is going to be, always assuming that there's no difference. So our ho is going to be that they're both going to have the same mean percentage of popped kernels. It's really weird to say. They're both going to have the same amount of popped kernels, I guess, but technically same mean percentage. And the alternative is no. The name brand is going to be better. It's going to have a higher mean percentage. So mu sub n represents the mean percentage of popped kernels for the name brand, and mu sub s is talking about the store brand. So make sure you define it. Sometimes they're strict about this. I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you write it out like that, you kind of already show, but write it out. Just write it out, just be sure. So next, we have to name what type of test we're going to be able to do. So there's really just one that we can do because we don't have information on the standard deviations for proportion. So we're going to need to run a 2-sample t-test for difference in means. So the difference in means for mu sub n minus mu sub s. And make sure you check the conditions. So you really just have two conditions, the random condition and the normal large sample. Now for the random condition, make sure you state that the data does come from two independent random samples. Don't just say random and put a check mark. Because again, some of these guys are, kind of dickheads, and they'll be really, strict on it. They love marking you down for anything, so don't let them. Now, whoa, I didn't want to give it away. For the normal large sample, remember that has to do with having at least a sample size that's large enough, and usually the limit is a sample size of 30, but these only have sample sizes of 10. So then when the sample size is small and it doesn't state that it's from a normal distribution, then you're going to have to plot the sample data. Usually I like doing box plots. So I have the data ready in my calculator for both the name brand and store brand. And stat plot, I'm going to put it as box plots for both of them. Two different box plots, plot 1 and plot 2. And then zoom stat, and bang. We can see that we have two box plots that aren't really skewed, or there's no extreme skewness and there's no outliers. So then draw like a simple sketch and write that, that since there's no extreme skewness or outliers, it's okay to proceed. Your sketch doesn't have to be Picasso, remember, just make it, so that it shows that you know what you're talking about. And then from here, now we can just use our calculator to finish the problem because you can actually do the test in here. Look, check this out. Go to stat, test, 2-sample t-test. Bang. I have my data in list 1 and list 2. List 1 is the name brand, so I want mu1 to be greater than mu2. Pooled, nope. Calculate, yes. And there we go. We got our t statistic. We got our p-value. We have our degrees of freedom. We have our sample means, and we have our sample standard deviations. Hooray! So just write that down The main thing is to interpret the p-value. The p-value is about 1.3%. And since this is below our alpha level of 5%, we reject our HO and claim that we have convincing evidence that the true mean percentage of popped kernels is greater for the name brand than for the store brand. All right, so there you go. Stay tuned for the other videos. I'm going to put a video for each one. Next, I'm going to look at the proportions, and then I'm only going to put a summary video. So make sure you subscribe until then, and I'll see you guys later.